We're now going to look at subtracting fractions, and the method is exactly the same as when you were adding fractions. The only difference is we are now subtracting. So part A, we've got 5/8 subtract 1/8. The good news is the denominators are the same, so that means we are allowed to subtract. So in our answer, the denominator will also be 8. This time, the numerator in our answer is found by subtracting the separate numerators. So 5 subtract 1 is just going to give us 4. So we're left with 4/8, but it's not fully cancelled or simplified because the largest number that goes into both is actually 4. So we're going to divide both numbers here by 4. So divide the top number by 4, we get 1. Divide the bottom number by 4, we're going to get 2. So our answer here is just 1/2, 1/2. Okay, example B, again, we are subtracting fractions, so the method is exactly the same as adding, except we're subtracting. The denominators aren't the same, so we have to make them the same before we're allowed to subtract. So we're looking for the smallest number that 16 and 24 go into. Well, it's definitely not 24. 16 doesn't go into 24. If you doubled 24, the next multiple of 24 would be 48. Now, does 16 go into 48? So think of the multiples of 16. The next multiple of 16 is 32, and then another 16 on top of that would give you 48. So both of these numbers go into 48. So the smallest number that they go into is 48. So we're going to make both denominators into 48. So let's start with 9/16. We want to turn 16 into 48. So we're going to have to multiply 16 by 3 to get 48. And we're going to have to do exactly the same to the numerator. We're going to have to multiply it by 3. So 9 multiplied by 3 is going to give us 27. So we've now found an equivalent fraction to 9/16. So that is 27/48. We're now going to take 5/24. And we're going to make its denominator 48. So we're going to have to multiply 24 by 2 to give us 48, and we're going to have to do exactly the same thing to the numerator. Multiply by 2. So 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. So we now have 10/48. So you can see now that both denominators are now the same, so we now subtract the fractions which have the same denominator. So just be careful, 9/16 was first, so we're going to put 27/48 down first. So we now have 27/48, and we're subtracting. And we're not subtracting 5/24, we're subtracting its equivalent fraction, so we're subtracting 10/48. So we're now subtracting two fractions that have the same denominator, so that means the denominator in our answer is going to be 48 as well. And the numerator in our answer is found by subtracting the separate numerators. So 27 subtract 10 is going to give us 17. And then again, look at our answer. It's just a proper fraction, but is it fully cancelled? Well, it is, because the largest number that goes into 17 and 48 is just 1. So that is our final answer for part